we're here with John and Chuck, and we've got something really special in the ground. This is an ingenious way to get rid of dog waste and cat and everything else, huh? All waste.
We focused on dog poop first because this is the area where the dogs come to relieve themselves, and John has created a composter system for the dog poop. So I'm going to pop some in. He can tell you what's going on.
So Chuck's collected dog waste. He's got a 20-gallon plastic trash container sunk down to the plastic handles. The important thing about this 20-gallon trash can is the bottom has been cut out. A hole's been dug of approximate diameter and depth of this basically bottomless bucket. It's sunk down in there. In the bottom we have a substrate, and that substrate is stored in another identical 20-gallon container, but the bottom is left on. Chuck's grabbing a handful. So that is hay that we sourced free from another resident in the neighborhood that did not want it. We have taken a microorganism cocktail, commercially known as Effective Microorganisms 1. It's an easy do-it-yourself product using rice, milk, water, maybe some humic acid, and a little fermentation process to make that, and we develop a serum. That serum is added to water to dilute it. We put it in a big mixing vessel. In this case it was a wheelbarrow, and we take a watering can with a rain rose on the end so the water doesn't come rushing out. It comes kind of like a rain shower. We've got the dry straw in there. We just keep turning it. It's like a baking project. We're trying to get all that straw coated with this tan-colored liquid. That's the serum that we made. As the microorganisms, specifically a certain bacteria and a certain yeast that work together. They survive in an oxygenless environment, which is scientifically called anaerobic. So it's anaerobic decomposition. An analogous situation would be pond scum at the bottom of a pond. There's no oxygen, but there's a rich collection of organic matter that has rotted, broken down into plant usable form. It's the microbes down there at the bottom of the pond that do it. Same system here, probably not the same microbes, different habitat, but they're doing the same thing with the absence of oxygen. So it goes into the waste holding vessel where Chuck has put the dog waste, the dog feces. Just a handful of the fermented straw is thrown on top of that. Immediately the microorganisms make their way to the new food source because they've pretty much broken this down. They've eaten all the sugars in that, proteins in that. They're going into the dog waste. They quickly move into it. They neutralize the odor. They break down, take over any pathogens. They edge them out competition-wise. So the area we're standing in, Chuck said this is where he has his dogs do their business. He also has some newly planted fruit trees, a Meyer lemon, a plum, I think, and a nectarine, and a grape. They produce their fruit, their yield above the ground, and we're composting down below, under the ground. Once we fill this vessel, we pull the whole thing up by the handles over here. We lift it up. We dig a new hole, just like we did before, a carbon copy, and we pretty much checkerboard this whole area. Eventually, all that rotted material, the dog waste and the straw, it's in a safe place. It's underground. It's under mulch. It's kept moist by the mulch. It breaks down with the action of the microbes. The fruit trees send their roots out, and the transformation takes place, turning what was once waste going to a landfill is now super dense nutrients, a battery of nutrients for these roots to tap into and create lemons, plums, nectarines.
And it's pretty doggone easy. There's no smell. And you make that mixture about once every 6 months.
Yeah, you make a 20-gallon container of the fermented straw. Some people might recognize this process, this system, as bokashi, an Asian, I think Japanese specifically, way to compost in high-rise small apartments that couldn't compost big piles outside. This is borrowing that same technology to take care of dog waste in our specific situation here in the States, with many people having dogs, and adding a significant amount of feces, dog waste, cat waste to the landfill that can be diverted to do something much more productive, like grow perennial fruit trees.
It doesn't go down the toilet, which I used to flush it that way. It doesn't go in the trash bucket in a bag. It goes in the ground and it decomposes and it becomes accessible in the yard to regenerate and do something good.
Awesome.